Yo, Neo's in the building, man. Back
Yeah.
again to save relationships all around the world. New song, You the Love feature Jeremih, which is out right now, man. How
Yes,
you
indeed.
been?
What's up?
How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm real good. You know, I mean, considering everything that's going on, especially here in Atlanta, you know, it's a little nuts right now. I'm gonna say his name was Sharp Brooks. You know, my condolences go out to the family, and this is just another example of how the system itself needs to change. Here's what I've been hearing a lot about this situation, and I ain't mean to go into this, but here's what I've heard about the situation from police officers. They're saying that according to police procedure. According to the procedure and the way it's written, that them cops didn't do nothing wrong. That's what I'm hearing. So basically what you're telling me is that because this man was intoxicated and fell asleep in the drive-thru at Wendy's, he deserved to die? He had to die?
That's ridiculous.
The procedure is right. They did everything they were supposed to do according to procedure, which means it. So it was all right for this man to die. Nothing this man did was punishable by death, first and foremost. So let's just get that out the way. Nothing he did was punishable by death. What that says to me is that the system itself, the training itself, needs to be changed. They spend billions of dollars a year to train these cats, and y'all don't know how to de-escalate that situation. Y'all don't know how to make it to where that situation doesn't end in death. With all the money that the country spends yearly, billions yearly, to make sure that y'all know what y'all doing, and y'all still don't know what y'all doing. Defund, disband, start over. Period, point blank. That's how I
gotta hit reset on the whole machine. And you know, Neo, as a father of children,
man,
how do you explain this narrative to your kids? You know, because like some people feel sometimes that, you know, their celebrity keeps them, you know, away from harm's way of these sort of things, but that's not always the truth. You know, they just ran down on Jay Farrow the other day in LA while he was jogging. So how do you explain this to your kids?
Well, my oldest is 9. It's my little girl, she's 9, and then my youngest just turned 2 yesterday. He's sitting right here. I haven't had to have the conversation with them yet, but I know that I will have to, because at the end of the day, I'm raising Black children. I'm raising 4 Black children, 3 Black boys. So I definitely know that the conversation has to be had, but I'm gonna wait till they perhaps get a little bit older and can genuinely understand what it is that I'm telling them. Because right now, the world is rainbows and Alvin and the Chipmunks and Roblox. That's the world to them right now. And to be completely honest with you, it makes me mad that I have to kind of take their innocence away at some point. You know what I mean? Right now, they don't understand what inequality is. They don't understand. They don't get it right now. And at some point, I'm going to have to pull the rug out from under them and let them know that there's people out there that don't like you just because of what you look like, just because of the color of your skin. It ain't got nothing to do with who you are as a person. Just because of the color of your skin, it's going to be people out there that's going to look at you real funny.
And it is rough.
I have to do that to my children, but
that is rough. Because we did even see, remember when we saw that 6-year-old that got arrested, and, you know, people were outraged about that, but it's like, I know it's rough to talk to them, but it's like, we have to start them out at such an early age, and it's scary. But I also want to commend you for like using your platform, because you've definitely been out here using your platform to be a voice for the people. And you also went and you performed at George Floyd's funeral. And I feel like, you got a little bit, you gave a speech and you got a little bit choked up, but like, I was a little confused about the backlash that you got. It was a few people, it wasn't a lot, but the backlash that you got around saying the sacrifices he made. I
was confused too.
Yeah.
Initially, I had a long conversation with my manager, Tango. He's really, really, really smart dude. So mind you, I didn't even know that the backlash had come initially, because I don't read comments. I'm like, the comments area is where people take it upon themselves to choose to be ignorant. So I'm not even gonna worry my day with that.
Right.
But my manager called me and told me about the backlash, and initially my response was, you know what? Intelligent people knew what I meant, and anybody that's ignorant and didn't know what I meant, that's their problem. But then he had to check me on that, because see, we're at war right now, which means that we cannot let ignorance divide us right now. So if that means that I got to take an extra second to explain to this person that clearly didn't understand what I meant, then I'll take that second, because we're in war and we can't leave nobody behind.
Right.
You know, I can't leave you behind because you didn't understand what I meant. I can't leave you behind because you're ignorant. And mind you, ignorant is not an insult. Ignorant simply means you don't know. I'm not calling you stupid. It means you don't know. So I can't as a person that say I'm a black man and I'm for the movement, I can't leave you behind just because you didn't understand what I meant.
Right.
So I'm gonna take the time to explain it to you. And if you still choose ignorance, then we're gonna try it again tomorrow. And if you still choose ignorance, then we're gonna try it again tomorrow, because I can't leave you behind. As my brother, as my sister, I can't leave you behind.
Right.
I'm singing at this man's funeral. You cannot believe that I meant anything negative towards him, towards his family. You can't believe that as I'm standing on stage singing at this man's funeral, looking his daughter in the face. You can't believe that I meant something negative. You can't. You can't.
And the average person wouldn't even understand that level of pressure. Being in that moment and all the emotions that was flowing through that place at that time, man. Like, for you to even be able to get through the song all the way through with all that going on was a testament within itself.
It was unreal.
I'm gonna say something to you, Neo. I'm gonna give you your props, bro. And this is something that nobody saw. You came to that funeral and you went and put yourself in the back of the room. You were not trying to be in the spotlight. You was not trying to be in the camera, and they had to force you to come sit in a different place. I watched you go sit. You were sitting rows behind Fox. You were just trying to just get there and do what you had. You came in out very much remotely placed, trying to do what you had to do and get in and out of there, man. And it was you definitely didn't make it about yourself. And when I saw you broke down, I was like, I understand kind of what was going on. And it's because I've seen you do emotional performances before, but I want to give you your props for not making that moment about you, but definitely paying homage to somebody that deserved it.
Absolutely. I was upset, bro. I was trending behind the sacrifice comment. I'm like, okay, if y'all misunderstanding what I said can trend over the reason that I was there in the first place, y'all
sad.
Y'all not looking in the right direction, man. Like let's not mess up the narrative. Let's not get away from the narrative, okay? I was there to pay homage to this man. He was not a willing sacrifice, no. Neither was Jesus. Jesus didn't want to get on the damn cross, but he did it to save us. George Floyd didn't wake up that morning planning to be a sacrifice. He didn't plan to go out and die for black people, but that's what happened. And it's unfortunate that it happened that way, but that's what happened. So yes, it was a sacrifice. He wanted to be here. Clearly, nobody wants to die, of course. He wanted to be here, but he's not here. His life was sacrificed so that the change that is happening slowly but surely can happen. Because you got to admit, he's not the first person to get killed on camera.
No.
We've seen it before. I Can't Breathe. We've used that before. Just a couple years ago, we used that. So what made this one so special? I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm grateful. Right. I'm grateful because this is happening. This is the first time in the history of America that all 50 states, 19 countries, all protesting in the name of Black Lives Matter for black people.
It's a moment.
George Floyd, thank you so much for your sacrifice. Thank you so much for your unfortunate sacrifice so that this time and this change could be happening. I thank you and I salute. Absolutely.
Word. Now, for those who just joining us, man, we chopping it up with Neo, man. Wears many hats. You got a lot of stuff going on. Music aside, you also should write books because for you to be able to broker peace between your wife and your ex and have such a harmonious flow, many people would love to learn how to do the same thing you did.
I cannot take total credit for that. I really can't. I must give credit to my wife for being the bigger person in the moment, because when we initially got together, it was a lot of people she caught a lot of backlash because people thought that I left Mo and got with her.
Right.
Now realizing that me and Moyetta Shaw split up. We was separated for a good year and some change before I even met Crystal. But you know what people do. You know what people do. But she took it upon herself to be the big person. She didn't fire back. She took it upon herself to say, you know what? I want to meet this woman. I want to see what kind of connection that we can create, because at the end of the day, we're all family. That's the bottom line of this whole thing. Okay, regardless of what you feel about this or you feel about that, we're all family. Okay, all my children have the same father, two different mothers. We are all a family. Okay, and if we're gonna co-parent the right way, then we need to get all of the whatever the silly beef or issue that we have in here. We need to get all that out of the way, because none of that is important in the final of it. The final of it is these kids need to grow up knowing love, unconditional, period, point blank, from all of their parents. And that was enough. That was enough for them to sit down and have a conversation and find a common ground. And now they talk to each other more than either one of them talk to me.
Do you agree with Crystal calling Monyetta baby mama? Because she said that in an Instagram live conversation they had, that she calls her baby mama. How do you feel about that?
They've developed a friendship, and it's a little scary sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They get to talking and laughing, and then I walk in the room and it stops, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like this. I think you guys should separate. I think y'all should go over there and you go over there.
Now,
for a lot of dudes, that would be like their worst nightmare, for like the ex and the current to have like continuous conversations with the main cat ain't present.
Oh man, well, I mean, primarily, anytime they're setting up anything for the kids, or setting up anything, they know that it'll get done quicker if they handle it as opposed to, because I'm normally making the money, so they make sure that everything else is held down properly, and I love them for that.
Now, Nia, I feel like the quarantine broke a lot of people apart because they were just sick of each other, sitting in each other's face. And it actually seems as though it did the total opposite for you and Crystal. It kind of pushed y'all back together. Now, you had the Pinky Ring song, and a lot of, people were talking about that. Have you stopped pushing that Pinky Ring song now because y'all are back in a good space, or how's that working out?
Well, I mean, the Pinky Ring song was kind of an appetizer. It was never one that we was really going to put a real push behind. Like, if it picked up, cool. If not, cool. I just wanted to put something out there that felt now and in the moment and made sense of what was going on with me in the moment. You know what I mean? But no, that song is still available for streaming, download.
Shout out to Pinky Ring. Go stream it on all platforms.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Crystal.
At the end of the day, we got kids. Go on the stream.
Gotta let the wifey ad-libs.
Right.
It's all good. But what the quarantine kind of did for us was, well, first of all, it forced everybody to sit still. And I almost want to say that this quarantine had a little bit to do with how much America is paying attention to what's been going on with us for so long. Because it's like it actually took people sitting still and being at home to finally pay enough attention to what's happening to be outraged by it. You know what I mean? Like, so the quarantine kind of did that. But for me and Crystal, it forced us to like really sit down and block out the noise of the world, block out the opinions of other people, all these things that we make so important in our relationship that in the grand scheme of it all are not important at all. You know what I mean? We had to get to that place where we could have those painful conversations, them conversations that I know this is going to hurt you, but I got to say this to you because it's the truth.
Right.
And I want you to do the same thing to me. I want you to give me the absolute truth. Don't worry about how it's going to make me feel, because this is what's needed in order for us to even see if there's a resolution to come to. So we did that. It was some crying and a little bit of yelling, and, we went through all of that. But at the end of it, we realized that relationships work like this. You're two people with two different opinions, two different outlooks on things. You are not going to always get along. Y'all ain't always going to like each other.
That's right.
There's going to be a few times where y'all really don't like each other. But if you love each other, that's the word. If you love each other, then you're supposed to be able to find a way to work through that. You're supposed to be able to find a way to get around the fact that we don't like each other right now if we love each other. If I stop a bullet for you, I ain't supposed to be with nobody else. Period.
Man.
It sounds like a good album.
Yeah. Hey, now, quarantine for some people has been a moment of self-discovery. I'm curious to understand, what have you discovered about yourself, Neo, as the artist? What have you discovered about yourself as the father? And what have you discovered about your wife that you didn't possibly recognize before, but this new time is giving you?
What did I discover about myself as an artist? I discovered that I rely on other people way too much. Just in the realm of, so I live here in Atlanta, and we came here, we got this house, but then I got super busy and was moving around. So we didn't really get a chance to like unpack boxes and all of that stuff. So when the quarantine happened, we decided to get into these boxes. What I I didn't have any recording equipment here. So that's when I realized, it's like, oh damn, like the studios had shut down. I didn't have nothing here. I'm going stir crazy. And I realized to myself, like, damn, so I can't even make music unless I call somebody else. Like that don't work. So I got my own studio set up here. I'm learning how to use Pro Tools. I didn't know how to do none of this stuff before. I have engineers that I work with regularly to do all of that, to push all the buttons. All I got to do is get in the booth and sing. sit down and write and get in the
Right.
booth and sing. That's it. But now I'm learning how to do all of it so that I am completely self-sufficient. I can get
Don't
down
you
in the
love it?
basement, make my own records, produce my own records, and put them out my damn self if I feel like it.
That's
So
great.
that's what I learned about myself from an artist standpoint. I had too much dependence on other people. As a father, the quarantine definitely helped me lock back in with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I work a lot. I travel all the time. And because of that, I don't get to spend as much time with my kids as I would like to. Well, with this quarantine, I ain't had no excuse, So we at the house. I get to lock back in with the kids. I get to learn things about them that I didn't know before, just behind the fact that daddy's always working. And mind you, they don't ever give me no grief. They understand. You want them Robux bucks, you need to let daddy go up. But at the same time, what I've learned about kids is that it don't even got to be a whole lot of time. Like if you take 20 minutes and dedicate it solely to that child, that full 20 minutes, they good. They good. Like because after that 20 minutes, their attention span is going to dwindle off, and they're gonna find something else to do. But you've done what you're supposed to do as a parent. Like I've learned that you have to get that time for your kids. You have to. You can't just sit back and let them play the iPad all day long.
Right.
You can't do that. Do not let the iPad raise your kids. Please don't do that. What I learned about my wife, I learned that though she is incredibly tough, she is a lot more fragile than she lets on. And that I need to be mindful of that when speaking to her. I need to be mindful of that when dealing with her. Because Crystal is a gangster. She is very much a gangster. You know what I mean? And she'll let you have it. She's that. But at the same time, in some instances, that gangster can be a defense mechanism. So if you giving it at me, I can't give it back to you like that, because then we're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
It's just going to be two people arguing. You know what I mean? And that doesn't solve anything. Two people yelling, that don't solve nothing. So what I realize is, okay, when that gangster comes out, I then have to step back and go, all right, I have to realize why this is happening and respond that way, as opposed to just responding to the fact that you're yelling at me right now.
Right.
You can't act on impulse. You know what I mean? Like you have to literally think before you respond. Because if you get to the why is it that you're doing this? Why is it that you're feeling this way? If you can get to the why, you could potentially avoid the argument that would have happened otherwise. So yeah, a lot of
spoken like a wise man, bro.
Reflection. Yeah, man.
Spoken like a wise man.
Look at you, all grown.
I've been there. I know what you're doing.
Real quick, Neo. So we also seen you act as aside from this, and it was a movie that we watched this weekend that I felt like in different time, space, and place you would have been in it. This new Spike Lee joint called The Five Bloods. Have you got a chance to check it out yet?
Check that out yet. It was good.
It was dope. It was dope. And because of how well you did in Red Tails, which was like another war-based joint, I was like, yo, could have been up in here. Because this is one part of the movie where they how when they do a flashback and they show when they're younger, they use the old guys as the young guys. I felt like you could have been one of the younger guys. Delroy Lindo was 60 the whole time was happening. But have you going on more auditions, or have you or how does that even work? Do people say, yo, I want Neo to be in this, and you just got the part, or do you still have to try out for stuff?
Oh, no. I still got to try out for stuff. I told my management and my agents that once I said I wanted to try the acting thing, I said, I don't want no roles given to me just because I'm Neo. Me being able to sing ain't got nothing to do with me being able to act. So I want to audition. I want to do well enough to get the part. If I don't do well enough to get the part, tell me I didn't and send me on my way. That's the only way I'm gonna learn how to really, really do this. You can't learn anything with people, allowing you to cut corners and cutting corners for you. You can't learn that way. Yeah. If I'm gonna be an actor, I want to be an actor. I want to learn how to do it. I want to learn how to cry on cue. You know what I'm saying? I still can't do that. But I want to learn how to really do this acting thing if I'm gonna do it. And I can't do that with people doing favors for me. So yeah, I still going on. I haven't been on any lately, of course, considering what's going on. But I've been reading a lot of scripts. I'm actually working on a script, which is really exciting. I like the acting thing. It don't do for me what music does for me yet, but I do have a love and an appreciation for it, because it's not an easy thing. It's not easy. It's not easy to just be yourself on camera.
Right.
That's really hard. For whatever reason, when the cameras start, you almost feel like you gotta
turn it up
more.
Move your face a different way.
Be more than you normally would.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just being regular you on camera is not an easy thing. So you gotta give much props to actors that make it look so simple, because it's really not.
What's the part that you didn't get that, the movie done came out already? You're like, damn.
Oh man. I went up for a role in the Wolverine movie. I went out for a role in that I didn't get, that I was real mad about.
Was it the part that Will.i.am got?
No.
Okay.
It was a smaller part.
Okay.
Towards the beginning of the movie, it was no disrespect, it was an Asian actor that got the part.
Well, I can see how they got that mixed up.
But Neil, let's just say if you was like to play one song for Versus, if new Versus came out and it was like, yo, one record and done, and you don't know who you're facing, but one song.
I mean, you gotta go. Huh?
I already know what it's gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you, my kids is up. They're down here now. One song, I don't know who I'm facing. I gotta go with my biggest gun. It'd probably be Beyonce's
To the left. I knew that. So what's up with you and Tigga? I see that y'all have this platform that y'all doing together, different showcases and stuff. How did y'all link up?
I've known Tigga for some years at this point. We met a long time ago, and just he's just one of the few people that I just clicked with real well. We've been friends for a long time. I wanted to do something on my platform just to connect with my fans. Like, again, when this whole quarantine thing started happening, nobody knew how long it was going to last. So I knew that we wasn't doing no shows no time soon. And I'm not really the cat I'm not really that dude. You know what I mean? So I needed a way. You just gonna slide in.
Man, cameo. I like it though.
It's
You want some robot?
Right, man. But so I came up with the whole Artist Lounge Unplugged thing, and I needed a place to do it. I didn't want to do it here at the crib because, again, but this place is not really set up nicely the way I would want it. So. And then, mind you, Tig had all the equipment. Like he had this little box to make the song sound real good and the whole nine. So I was like, bro, you want to just do this with me? I was like, yeah.
Well, that's dope.
It was really that easy. He didn't ask for no money and nothing. I mean, I got to give him something because it's disrespectful. But yeah, that's how it came together. And we've been doing it every Sunday since. And, it's good numbers and it's a good time had by everybody. Yesterday we did like a little listening party. I played a bunch of songs from the new album.
I seen
Jeremih came on, you know what I'm saying? We talked about the joint that's out right now. There's 2 on the new album that we did together. And man, I played it, and yeah, it's been a good thing. It's just a way to connect with my fans again, you know what I'm saying? Consider the fact that ain't no concerts or nothing going on right now, ain't no meet and greets going on. So every Sunday, catch me on live.
I like it.
Very solid.
Yeah.
Well, let's put off the new single right here, man, because the ladies is going crazy. And anytime you borrow something from Zap, it's a win-win. So go ahead and set it up, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is my brand new joint, You to Love, featuring my homeboy Jeremih. Check it out.
All right, this is us coming out of the record. Yo, brand new joint right there, Neo. You to Love featuring Jeremih. You also on NBC's new season of World of Dance.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? He's still taking auditions. You might see him on Roblox with his kids. What else can we look forward to?
So new album, definitely new album coming this year. I don't know exactly when yet because I'm not done yet, but I'm close, very close. 3/4. I'm 3/4 of the way done. So be looking for probably maybe September, somewhere in there.
And what's the name of the album?
Another thing I don't have yet. I have not figured out what I'm gonna call it just yet. Still working on that part. But I'm getting close. I just wanted to represent, because this album, there's a lot of different layers on this album. You know what I mean? There's some things that you've heard me do before, some things you've never heard me do before, some vibes you've never heard me on before. And this is just my way of letting people know that there's more to me than what you've already seen. You know what I mean? I feel like as an artist, once you kind of show your fan base that you do one thing well, they kind of want you to stay there. You know what I mean? It's hard to go, wait a minute, I can also do this, and I can also do this, and I can also do this.
Oh shoot, Neo gonna be rapping.
If the inspiration hits, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of rap, though, what is the weirdest record that people associate you with? Like, you know, despite like
the weirdest record,
the big catalog of records you got, what is that weird record that people associate you with? Is it blow your mind when I tell you the song that like pops in my head? Like literally when I wake up, for whatever bizarre reason, you singing the hook on this one song always pops in my head.
That's weird, kind of crap.
No.
What song?
What's okay?
Back Like That, but with Ghostface Killer.
That's because that's the
brand new bands know that me and that nigga ain't friends. Yo, for some bizarre reason,
That's
when I wake up in the morning that song be stuck in my head, and I could have not heard it in weeks. But like, that's just one of them joints where it just rides. You know what I mean?
That's I ain't mad at that.
And that's one of the first records that got me associated with who you were. Then I started seeing you on other records, and I'm like, okay, my man did the record with Ghostface. And then it turned into like, yo, he be writing the songs for the people. Then like,
that's love.
Dude made one of the greatest songs ever. I told somebody the other day that Champagne Life is like one of the hardest records like of all time. Like,
Champagne Life.
It makes you feel good.
Weird records that people, I don't know if there's any weird ones. You know what? For a minute, it was on Wikipedia that I wrote all the Pretty Ricky records. And I didn't write those records. No,
did you write any of them?
They had some bops, but I was not responsible for those. I will not take credit for something I didn't do. See, that's why don't listen to Wikipedia. Do you know anybody can go on Wikipedia and change anything?
Yes,
it's true.
You know that?
Yeah,
so why would anybody take that as a liable source of information for anything? If anybody can go on there. I was Puerto Rican on there one time. Like,
wait, you're not? No, I'm joking.
Changed whatever, but yeah, they had me credited for all the Pretty Ricky records, and I had to go on record and say, "Hey, no disrespect to Pretty Ricky, but I didn't do them records. Them ain't mine."
Well, we learned something today. Wikipedia be out here lying. This record is almost done 3/4 of the way.
Yes, yes.
You know, he will turn in the homework when it is complete. And yo, man, like, yo, keep doing your thing, baby boy. And yo, I can't wait to check you out in the studio live. Are you doing any quarantine concerts? I mean, I know you talked about the thing you're doing with Tigger, but is there anything you do?
I mean, that's pretty much my quarantine concert right there. Every Sunday, I get on there. We discuss a topic for a minute. Then Tigger get on the ones and twos. He'll play a mix. I'll sing a song. We'll have a guest come in and speak for a second. I'll sing another song, and then we go on about our business. That's my quarantine concert every single Sunday. Catch me on my live doing what we do.
Pulling up, man.
Yeah.
One time for the homie, man. He's a family man. He's getting it done. New single, You to Love, out right now. Be sure you download it, stream it, and how dare you? Won't you pay for it? Drop the 99 cent in the hat, man, and get it off wherever you're buying your music from, and support the brother right here. One time, y'all, for Neo.
Appreciate that love. Appreciate the love.
We are the Morning Hustle.